I'm April Morrison, Doctor of Physical Therapy, accidental entrepreneur, and lifelong learner. You're tuned in to the Idaho Physio podcast, where we talk about things health, wellness, and high performance in all areas of life. The big goal here is to talk to high achievers and those that surround themselves with the top performers in their fields to get some insights, tips, and inspiration that we can all use in our daily lives. The title may say Idaho, but the content reaches far beyond our borders and is relevant for everyone, regardless of where you find yourself. As always, the content you are about to hear does not replace the medical advice of your doctor, so please seek professional opinions should you need them. Now kick back, relax, and enjoy the episode. We are glad you're here. All right. Hi, everyone. It's April Morrison again with the Idaho Physio. Today, I have Erin Blackwell with me, who is an amazing photographer. We're so glad that you are here with us. And one of the crazy things is, the Idaho Physio is a podcast about health and wellness and high performance. And so a lot of people might think, why the heck do we have a photographer on here? But because it's about high performance and high achievers. And Erin is the epitome of that. So just a little background, Erin is an internationally and nationally recognized and awarded photographer. She's the owner of Erin Blackwell Studio here in Idaho. And she also has been in this industry for over 10 years, which is crazy and awesome. And I know you've worked all over the country, and you've recently released your Get the Shot guide. So I want to talk to you about all those things. So
yay!
I'm going to have you start and kind of give us a little background about who you are and all that good stuff.
Yeah, thank you. Well, thank you, first of all, for having me on. I'm so excited to talk to you. As you said, I've been in business for 10 years, and I photograph mostly branding and headshots, which is such a huge market right now. I always say you are the face of your brand, as you should be. So it's really important to have professional, cohesive photos for your brand. And so that's my jam.
And you're awesome at it, because you did mine and you made me look like 10 times better than I do in person. So I always have to tell people I don't look like I look in the pictures.
It's the best version of you. That's what it is.
Yeah, cool. So how did you get into doing photography? What led you down that path?
Looking back, it was just kind of a freak thing. I was just trying to figure out, I had, 3 little kids at the time, I'm 5 and under, and I was just trying to figure out a way I could be home with the kids, but also, help out with the family income. And so I didn't have a background in photography at all, but I knew people that were photographers that I had gone to high school with. And I just reached out to one of them and said, is this something you think I could maybe do with all these kids at home? And thank goodness she was just so helpful and kind of told me what I needed to watch and do. And really it was just a lot of YouTube, a lot of Google. I didn't have a lot of, money in the beginning to invest in learning. So I really was self-taught until I started making money and could, do courses and workshops and stuff like that. So looking back, I think, I just was naive and I thought I could do this, and I did it.
Yeah. And you've been doing it not just here in Idaho too. I've seen that you've traveled a bit to do some work. So what's that like? How do you get involved in doing all that?
Yeah, well, I actually started my business in Denver. And so I've only lived in Idaho for 5 years. So it was kind of, I kind of had to start over about 5 years ago because I didn't know anybody out here. But luckily I just, through mostly word of mouth, my clients are amazing. I started to book out here, and that led to things in other states. And so, last year alone, I went to Alaska, Phoenix, Denver, Connecticut, and I shoot people, people book in those states when I'm there, which I love. I like to travel, and it's really fun to be able to, do a little fun stuff on the side, but also be there for work and be shooting amazing people.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah. And especially, I'm sure word of mouth is kind of taking you out and about. And is there any other marketing that you do, or is it pretty much word of mouth?
It's mostly word of mouth and Facebook. My target market is on Facebook, not Instagram, I've noticed. So as much as I love to be on Instagram, most of my people are on Facebook. So yeah, but really it is word of mouth. And just like I said, my clients are so amazing. And I think because about 5 or 6 years ago, I kind of rebranded and became more of a boutique studio. And that allowed me to book less and pay more attention to the clients that I did book. And I think that's a big difference between me and maybe a lot of other photographers that kind of have that model where they're just shooting so many people. It's just, I just thrive there, and I enjoy spending a lot of time with my clients, pre-planning their outfits, planning out their vision. I just really love that aspect of it.
Well, and that was one of the things that I was very impressed with when I came to you, is that not only were you available, well, your assistant was available, first off, for me to just kind of run questions by and chat with. But then you were also available for me to ask about my wardrobe, what I was going to wear before we even did it, and to pick out the right outfits, because you have such an eye for color and what will look good, and you know what your backgrounds are and all that. And then just the attention, to detail and the fun that it was. It made me actually feel like a model for a day, with my hair and makeup and all that. So it was fantastic. And the shots came out awesome. I think probably because of that, because I was prepared for it and also really able to relax with you. So that was really cool.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I really feel like the more we can plan ahead, the more relaxed the client will be and the more fun we'll have. And that definitely translates in photos.
Yeah, for sure. So when you're planning your sessions, or going through your editing or doing all those things, are there, the top questions that you get asked, like, should I wear this? Or how do I prepare for that? Or what are the kind of big things that people are asking you?
Yeah, wardrobe is like probably the number one thing people are nervous about. And I say 9 times out of 10, you have everything you need in your closet already. You don't have to go out shopping, although you totally can. That's a great way to justify it. I need to go for my shoes. Yeah. For me, I really feel like, jewel tones look good on pretty much everybody, and they really pop. And I think another difference between me and some other photographers is I'm like a branding and marketing nerd. And so I love learning about that and studying that. And that helps me visualize, so when I'm shooting you, I can say like, oh, that color is really going to pop for a Facebook ad, or, that, or a headline. And so I think, the bolder you can go on colors, that's going to be scroll stopping for you for sure. But also you want to be comfortable in the color you're wearing. If you are not somebody that likes wearing red, don't wear red.
Right.
But also, I think the most important thing about wardrobe is don't wear all black. I think people think that black is slimming. And while that may be true in person, it's not always true on camera. If you're just solid black mass, it's going to add bulk in the photos. And so, yeah, all of that is stuff that I go over with you beforehand, because it really is so important. And the second question I get asked a lot is hair and makeup. And so, for my higher tiered shoots, I include it. I think it's so, so, so important. Yes. And my lower tiered shoots, I push it so much that I'd say like 99% of women still get it done before my headshot quickies, which are my lower shoots. Camera makeup is so different than everyday makeup, and it makes such a difference.
Yeah. I
really feel like it's a must.
For sure. And the people that are doing it know the difference. Like I don't walk around with the camera on me all day. So
right.
I don't tend to wear a lot of makeup anyway, but so I wouldn't know what's going to look better and what won't. So, and they're super professional about it too. And again, you feel kind of glamorous as you're getting it done. So
yeah, it's a pampering experience.
Right. Exactly. So then what about just the professional side of it, the photography side of it? Do you get asked questions about people who want to jump into the field, or are trying to, get into photography? Do you get a lot of questions about that?
Yeah, I do. And I have a whole separate site for education, just because I think it's so important. I think I learned so many lessons on what not to do, what not to spend money on, what not to spend time on in the beginning, that I really love sharing that with people so that they can kind of skip over that. I think so many people get caught up in things that they feel like are important, and they feel like they're working in their business, when really those things are not going to matter making money wise. And so if you can, kind of shift your focus onto what is actually going to bring in money and how you can actually improve the client experience, those are what I think is really, those are the things that are important to focus on.
Very cool. And we'll get all your contact info and make sure we get links to all that stuff so we can throw it in the notes and all that, because I'm sure there's going to be people who are really interested in doing that as well. And then you talked a little bit about branding and being a branding nerd, which I love. So explain to me, the things that you're seeing these days. Like, are there trends or, things people should stay away from?
I mean, if you're talking about, Facebook ads or just getting eyes on your page and your business, there are definite trends. And sometimes it's things you wouldn't think. And a lot of times it's testing. So just testing, 2 different pictures and seeing what gets the most eyes on it. But really, it's almost like the goofier, the better. Especially if you're running ads, just think about it. You're scrolling, you're seeing so many ads that you probably don't even, realize. It's just subconsciously going into your brain. So you really need something that's going to stand apart and stop people. So whether it's a bright color or a goofy face, faces do better in Facebook ads, especially smiling faces. People are attracted to happiness. Pointing photos, I call them pointing photos, but you've seen them where people are pointing in their ads. They do really well. It's just an attention grabber. Those types of things work.
Cool. Well, that's good to know. I might have to start doing some of those.
Yes.
Come back to you for some more pictures. Awesome. All right. So, is there something that you wish you knew when you started 10 years ago back in Denver, that you wish you knew then, or something you picked up along the way that you can share?
I think my biggest mistake looking back is that I thought I needed to have a lot of things, a lot of gear, a lot of backdrops, a lot of things that I had to spend money on to make myself more professional. Mm-hmm. And you've been in my studio, and my studio now is a little different than, maybe like 5 years ago, but I can work with the bare basics. I can literally work with a white poster board, a black poster board, a window, and that's it.
You make magic with that. You really do. Yeah.
So I really, now I feel like simple is better. Less is better. If you can work with less, you're probably more professional than someone that needs to work with a ton. And so I wish I would have known that back then, because I think it would have saved me a lot of money.
For sure. Yeah. And probably time and
Yes.
Very cool. So let's talk a little bit about your Get the Shot guide that you just released. So tell me about that. What's that all about?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm just so excited about this guide. So I think one of the things I'm known for is my ability to pose people. And I think, a lot of times when I have a client come in the studio that's been photographed by someone else before, a comment they'll make is, wow, my other photographer didn't tell me how to pose. They didn't tell me what to do, which is so weird to me. But I have studied posing so extensively over the last 10 years. And so I really, truly believe that posing is like the number one thing any photographer should know. But I also know that you can't always have professional photos taken, especially nowadays when it's like you need constant content, constant new photos. And so I made this guide with pretty much everything I've learned over the past 10 years about posing and what looks good in photos. And I put it in this guide. So this guide is for anyone that needs social media photos. And it teaches you how to pose for them, how to take them yourself on your cell phone. You don't even have to have a camera. And just to have that ongoing fresh content and feel good about it, because most women don't want to be in front of the camera. Yeah. Like I said in the beginning, you are your brand and you should be the face of your brand. And so my goal is for just women everywhere to have that confidence to put themselves out there as the face of their brand.
That's awesome. And I think that it's so funny. You think about through life. I even look at pictures when I was a kid, and my mom is behind the camera. She's never in the pictures. And with selfies, and there's more and more people that are getting behind or getting out from behind the camera and getting in pictures. And then they're like, "Oh God, I look awful." But if you just learn a few little things, I remember you told me one little trick about sitting on the edge of the chair. If you're going to be photographed on a chair, get on the edge of it. It's like, oh, yes. It's changed my life.
And most of us weren't taught how to pose, and that's why we don't look good in photos, because the camera can add 10 pounds.
Right, or 20 or 30.
Yeah, and so I have a lot of free posing tips on my Facebook page, because sitting on the edge of the chair, nobody thinks about that, but it makes such a difference. Or just sitting up straight, or chin out and down. That's my other one. Instead of this,
right, the triple chin. Yeah. Or from below versus,
angles, posing, it's simple things, but it's things that we weren't taught and probably don't think of, and things that the photographer, whether it's your Instagram husband or your kid or your best friend, they don't know either. So they can't direct you properly. So it really teaches you all of that. And like I said, I have even more free tips on my page, just because like I said, my heart is for women to feel more confident in front of the camera.
Well, and you do not just branding stuff, but you do boudoir shots and that sort of thing. And that is super important to feel confident when you're getting those done, I would imagine.
Yes. Actually, that's all I shot for my first 2 years in business was boudoir. And so I think that helped a lot too, because that really gave me like a foundation of working with women that were really nervous, really self-conscious. And I had to learn how to make them comfortable and relax. And yeah, absolutely. And I highly recommend doing one of those shoots in your lifetime, because it really is empowering.
Very cool. Yeah. And even just looking at the shots that you have posted on your website, I mean, the women look strong and powerful and just really super confident. And it's funny to hear, a few of them talk about it or make comments like, I didn't think I could do that. And then I totally did. So I think that's awesome.
Thanks. Yes, I do too. It's so fulfilling.
So tell me how people can find you.
Well, I'm on Instagram. I am Erin Blackwell. I'm also on Facebook. I am Erin Blackwell. And my website is erinblackwellstudio.com. And the guide is gettheshotguide.com. And I know you're going to link all that. But yeah, absolutely. I'm everywhere. You can just Google me.
Yeah, awesome. And the Get the Shot Guide is a little bit separate from your normal work, but it's more just kind of teaching people how to take their best shots and get the best stuff out there. So I think that's good for everyone who's trying to either build a business or maintain a business and kind of maintain a presence on social media.
For sure.
So super important. Awesome. Yeah. Well, I appreciate your time with us today and chatting with us and giving us some good tips, because I know that there's going to be lots of women out there that are getting some amazing pictures. Oh, and men. You shoot men too. So let's not forget about guys.
Not a ton, but I do shoot men. But yes, yeah. Thank you so much for having me on. This was so much fun. I just love you.
Love you too. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I can't wait to come back and get some more pictures.
Yay.
All right. So that's Idaho Physio. And check us out. Check the notes down below. I'll have all the links for Erin on that site, as well as any other notes that we want to make sure we link to. Get the Shot Guide, because you're going to really want it for all of your social media branding. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us on the Idaho Physio. We hope you gained some insights, inspiration, and some ideas on how to be amongst the top performers and high achievers in the world. Know someone that's crushing it that we should talk to? Let us know. As always, we welcome your feedback. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and share our podcast with friends, family, heck, even complete strangers. Because hey, who couldn't use a little inspiration these days? Thanks again. Now get out there and be amazing.